Hello, and welcome to Napkin's Neurosis, the show where you get invited into my mind. Here is the perfect. I don't need to tell you how I feel. I just need to make one sound, and you'd understand what I'm feeling. That's me. You might be wondering how I got myself into this situation. Well, I'm currently under a blanket. It's 9:40 on a Saturday, and I got nothing to do. I remember earlier today there was actually quite a bit of talk about an event that quite a few people from my generation were going to. Schematics. It's 12th of November, that's when it happened. And that's today. I remember when some guy sat next to me in class and was like, "Hey, you joined schematics?" And I was like, what is that? And he's like, "Are you Napkin? Are you really that guy?" I was like, "No." This is why I don't make these videos. Whenever I ramble, I normally don't have a point to them. I just attach something that I remember onto something that I said. Well, the point is, I guess I didn't do anything. Shoot. I have a list. Don't worry, I have a list in front of me on my computer. And that's filled with text. And I'm gonna go each of them point by point. I made a bullet point list and not a script. Usually because I don't have the ability whenever I talk, I don't trust myself to say everything that I wanted to say. And whenever I'm writing, I have the ability to think back upon things and then add to it. But this is a bullet point list, so I'm not just gonna say it word by word. I expected myself to add things onto the bullet point that I wrote, and I don't think it's gonna be much, but that's fine because I do kind of want a shorter video. So, first point, all it says is usually I'm depressed, and that's true. Whenever I make any of these Napkin Neurosis videos is because something bad happened this week, and it's nothing happened this week. It happens most weeks, except for the only thing that I remember earlier today. I put a comment on this week's PCP podcasts. If you don't know who they are, they're great. And one of the creators that I've been following for a very long time, and one of the hosts on it replied to my comment, and it's a pretty funny story of why he did that. And he was like embarrassed because of a thing that I told him that he did something wrong, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm putting this creator under my feet. I feel above him. I'm a sadist. Yeah, that's the point. A fun fact: me and him have the same birthday. That's just an extra. That's really a fact that it's like the planets all aligned kind of thing. It's really surprisingly. It's a surprise that that's a thing. And I really like that guy. Ben Saint, I know you. Okay, that's it. The point... Let's get back to the point, as I always keep saying, the point. It all started when I said I was depressed, right? Usually I am, but now I don't feel that depressed. I remember on Friday... this all started, or like I wanted to write something even though I don't feel that depressed, because I thought it'd be interesting. Usually I am, but I should make one when I'm not, just, as a good, I don't know, litmus test or whatever. But that Friday, I was fatigued, and I thought it was because I stayed in my room all day, all week. Actually, that's something interesting. I was generally wanting to go to the doctor for that stuff because I had a fever before that, and now I was fatigued. And it's not that that's weird, it's that it was like chronic, kind of. I feel constantly fatigued and I get fevers pretty often, so I wanted to check up on that. But I don't know the first thing. Like, first, where do I even go? Do I go to a hospital, the local puskesmas? And after that, do I go to the receptionist? Where do I get a ticket? What room do I go into? Am I even allowed to be there just to get a checkup of some kind? How do I talk with the doctor and shit? It's a long process, but I suppose I should get a relative to help me if I ever do want to go to the doctors. Oh crap, I forgot I didn't service my motorcycle and it's been... I never serviced it once, shit. My friend didn't either. He said for like 9 months he hasn't gotten it checked. Oh, whatever. Speaking of not going to campus for a week, that's what I said, right? Here's my exact notes. Hikikomori. Since I feel like lecturing you, hikikomori in Japanese, that's a term for an individual that stays in their room all the time. Usually they're NEETs who don't have an education or work. That's what hikikomori means, and I feel like I'm becoming one, especially after watching Welcome to the NHK, an anime all about the hikikomori lifestyle. That one's good. Recommended. Point is, this week I only had to go to the campus twice and only had 3 lectures. One of them was online, and I remember everyone for SE, the whole major, mostly had online lectures, but I had to go to campus twice, and there's only a total of 3. So that was Monday morning and Thursday afternoon. Yeah, it was a sandwich, basically. And then in the middle of that was 1 online lecture. So I had a lot of free time on my hands. Usually I'd be there for a few hours by lunch, but nope. I was in my room. I was only at campus for, I'd like to say 4 hours this entire week, which is kind of sad. And again, I only had 1 online lecture. But what replaces those, and that contributed to my lethargic attitude of being fatigued and being sick. I guess that's the other point. But what replaces those lectures are stressful final projects that are also replacing the finals exams. And I like these final projects are making a website which none of us have any experience before, so that sucks. I calmed down a bit, or like I understand making a website a bit more after looking at some tutorials. I'm gonna get Visual Studio Code and virtual server or something, and then I just have to mess around with CSS and some HTML. Hopefully I can figure that out, because everyone else in my group is like completely lost. Like, it's the second, so every 2 weeks we go have a synchronous lecture, and those lectures are just progress reports of our final project. Every week that we don't have a lecture is to work on it, and it's the second week, and we have not made any progress at all. I remember telling this to another student, a fellow classmate, and he was like, "What the heck? You haven't done anything for the last 2 weeks? You should go talk to that guy right now." And he was really on my case about it. But it's fine. I watched a YouTube tutorial. It's okay. I just have to figure it out afterwards. Getting a bit stressful there. The other thing is making a, what's it called? I don't want to say it's acronym. An an SRS, a specification system requirements specification, something like that. We basically have to make a product, and then we don't have to make the product. We just have to think about it and then make the documentation, just the documentation for it. And this documentation has very specific chapters that have specific information in them, and you just have to figure those out. It's a big doc that we have to do, and is it the 11th week or the 12th? We have around 4 weeks to make both of those things, a website and some documents. That's just 2 that we know of, that I know of right now, I guess. There's others, but they've not been revealed whether or not it's a final project or an actual test. So it's definitely gonna build up after a while. That was just the first point, and it's already 11 minutes. Shoot, this might be a long video. No, it's fine. I only got 2 main points after this. So tomorrow, today is Saturday night, right? Now is Saturday night. Tomorrow morning I wanna meet with my high school lifelong friends again, pretty much. I'll just name drop them. Ray, Gal. They've been my friends for 8 years. Gal's obviously shorter, probably 4 or 3, somewhere around there. And what worries me is that I'm still spending time with my high school friends at all. Like, I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to move on. And be with my college buddies, but like they don't do the things that I do with my high school friends, and some of them have somewhat similar interests, but not exactly. Like, it's so close and yet so far. Specifically anime is what I'm talking about. Like, they talk about Chainsaw Man, whatever's popular right now. I heard them talk, the most niche I hear them talk about is Bungo Stray Dogs, and I don't know any of that. I am an elitist, a self-proclaimed one who watches old-ass anime. I recently watched Gundam because Gal forced me to, but before that was Nichijou, which is kind of popular, but before that was Birdie Decode, and no one's ever heard of Birdie Decode. And then before that was 86, which is popular. Before that, whatever, Ojamajo Doremi. There you go. No one watched Ojamajo Doremi, and it's the best anime that I've seen, basically. Do that, and also, no one watches it. Ah, man. The next mini point is just Dad told me. Yeah, my dad told me to get new friends. They don't get it. Like, what I mean by what they don't do, the things that I do with my high school buds, is that I know them long enough to like just play games with them and stuff. Maybe I could do that with college friends, but definitely not in the same way, or like, I don't know how they'd react, because I want to play games like visual novels. They probably want to play MOBAs. Probably. I don't know too much about them. I know they play Mobile Legends or whatever, and I tried it out. It is pretty fun, but I want to play more in-depth games, and board games especially. And there's this thing that we do called RTFD, or real-time fan dubs, and this is going to be an example of one of the things I don't think none of my college friends would get. And it's basically an RTFD, or a real-time fan dub, is when we dub a show but in real time, and we mute the show and we say funny stuff while the characters are saying funny stuff. And I feel like that concept, when I explain it to people who haven't watched one yet, are like, why would that be funny or a worthwhile action to do, right? Oh, whatever. I did gain a friend. This is not a mini point, but I just want to talk about him because he infuriates me. When I say okay, so I've had a lot of acquaintances and I do ask them for homework help or whatever and group projects. I'm not awkward around everyone. Like, I can talk to them somewhat fine, I guess. And there's a few, like, there's strangers basically that I don't know how to talk to. And then there's tiers to this. And then there's acquaintances who I know of and I feel a bit more comfortable talking to them. And then there's genuine friends that I could hang out with. And I only have one genuine friend, and he's an IUP who can speak English pretty often, so that's good. But he's a complete idiot, and I don't like him. All he does is play TF2 all day, and it's so sad. What's even more tragic is that I think he's the only person who's like watched as much or consumed as much media as I have, because whenever I ask him, hey, have you watched Bakemonogatari? Have you watched Higurashi? He's like, oh, I read the light novel for that. Oh, I read the whole entire visual novel. And I'm like, I'm really surprised that he even knows. He's also a fighting game kind of person. He even knows Melty Blood and stuff. And that's really impressive. But whenever I went to his house and I'm like, okay, let's play Smash Bros. Together. First of all, he sucks at Smash Bros. But that's besides the point. He did not let me, like, whenever I asked him, hey, I'm at your dorm. How about we play stuff together? And he's like, no, shut up. Get out. And I'm like, hey, you're such a good friend. And then he laughs maniacally. He's kind of mean, and he's my only friend because he speaks English. I don't like him. If he's watching this, then sorry. I don't have much to say to you. I don't think you can become a better person unless something fundamental about you changes. You big wussy. Alright. Besides all of that, sorry for ranting about my friend there, I do things. My dad did tell me join an organization. I joined an organization, and not just as a member, as a coordinator, as like an actual guy who does things, you know? I'll be a bit more in-depth about it, just as proof. It's lkki, Lembaga Kerohanian Lembaga Kerohanian Islam ITS, or something like that. That's not the acronym that I said, but we funded it. No, we founded it, and it's the new cabinet 2022, and I am the head of the social media department. And currently, for the first actions, our organization is to create the Instagram posts for an introduction of what our organization is and our new cabinet and meeting all the new members. Yeah, stuff like that. I'm currently waiting for the higher ups or the last year's generation of lkki to give me files, but they have not responded. So shoot. That's as in depth as I need to get about that. Next and final point, I am bipolar. I have severe bouts of depression. Not really severe. I just get sad sometimes, but like it feels like I'm in a hole and I just can't get out of it, even if I try to do something productive. And to counteract that, I also have extreme moments of happiness, I guess, where I just become excitable and like life is great and stuff. Yeah, that's it. I don't know, man. I always thought I had all the mental illnesses, like I'm autistic. I analyzed myself and my actions when I was young, and I was totally autistic back then. Those are weird things. Like, for example, I threw a stick at another person, and I didn't feel remorse. Another thing, the babies, I hanged around babies. Elia and my nieces, they were babies at the time, and I didn't like make fun of them, but I did like hearing them cry, and I was like, I don't really care if this person cries. In fact, I gain enjoyment from it, so I'm not gonna do anything about it. To be honest, though, they were evil. They were totally evil. I'm not really depressed. I'm just between sad and happy, so I guess I'm just lukewarm right now. And I'm just doing creative work stuff. Like, maybe you thought to yourself, if you thought of whatever I'm talking about in depth, but I don't know, it doesn't matter. If I only went to campus twice and only had 3 lectures, what else was I doing? I was editing my video, the big one about the house in Fata Morgana. I'm in the middle of it, and I could talk a bit more in depth about that, but I don't really have to. It's going along just well. Like, one thing I gotta say though is that I could be a lot more efficient when I make that, because it takes me so long just to start making it, and then when I do start making it, I make a lot of progress, but when I stop and then I have to start again, it's really hard. Normally I make, I don't know, 5 to 6 minutes of the whole video during a single editing session, and that's a lot, because in a day there's multiple editing sessions, so at the end it's around 15 minutes of the entire video, and that's pretty quick in my opinion. Even I know I said the entire video is going to be 6 hours long. It's not. I lied. I'm sorry. It's going to be around 3 hours and 30 minutes. So if you divide that by 15-ish, give me a sec. An hour has 4 parts of 15 minutes. So that's 4 times 3 plus 2, 14. It would have normally taken me 14 days, which half a month to make the entire video, but that is if I worked out 100% efficiency, and I definitely don't, which is why it's taking me 3 months instead of half a month. Besides editing videos, I was making my visual novel that I'm too embarrassed to show anyone, but I'm gonna show my friends tomorrow. And I think it's really one of those, it made me realize that without love, it cannot be seen. That's an Umineko reference. I wish instead of talking about my feelings, I just talked about Umineko, because I love Umineko so much. So much so that I made an entire visual novel that's inspired out of it. And what I mean by without love, it cannot be seen is that really it takes a lot of passion when it comes to making a piece of media and a point that you want to show. I watched an anime that did not have a point, Gundam Re-Rise, that gal forced me to watch, as I said earlier. And I was like, this is boring, I guess. But you know what, a more obvious, immediate example. Oh, by the way, Gundam Re-Rise, I did not think it had a point until a big plot twist at the end of season 1. So, points to Gundam Re-Rise, who cares? A more immediate example would be, I went to Roblox and searched up visual novel because I was curious what would show up, and a lot of them just felt like visual novels that were made in service for a narrative that the creator wanted to show, and that's obvious. That's expected because they're children who are making them on Roblox. They don't really have a passion for a narrative that they want to show. But for me, I wanted to make mine Umineko inspired, I guess. It's sort of like a murder mystery, but it uses Umineko mechanics. when you think of visual novel, you think of, I don't know, lightsy, everyday, high school, anime girl, dialogue heavy, slice of life kind of thing, right? And that's literally all the, quite a few of the visual novels. Some of them were actually kind of fun, especially, I think it was like Reflections or something. I don't remember the names, but some of them were pretty good. Yeah, that's it. Roblox is great, you guys. I don't know. One more problem. I'm wasting a lot of money. Because the last week, I just stayed inside all day. Sometimes I'd go to the canteen and eat the and I mean that's pretty often because whenever I go to campus, I always want to go to the canteen to buy something and then bring it home or whatever. But whenever I don't, I just order it off of Gojek, and I've been watching a YouTuber called Report of the Week who reviews fast food, and I've been ordering some fast food, and it's real damn expensive. I'll stop doing it. I ordered a chicken sandwich that was $7 or like 70,000 rupiah, $6-ish. And McDonald's, they had their quarter pounder released, and Report of the Week said, hey, the best item on the menu for McDonald's is the quarter pounder. So I was curious, and it's not even that good of a burger. It's just a regular burger, but it's slightly bigger. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, review, brah. Okay. What else? Is that it? I know it's been 26 minutes. I was lying. Fudge. I was rambling a bit too long. I'm gonna commit, you guys. I'm gonna commit it. Yeah, I'm not even being funny right now. I'm not joking, but I'm also not being funny either. So, yeah. I don't know what the final point is. I've just been rambling. I'll save more money. I'll try not to be depressed. Hopefully those final projects won't eat up most of my time. I hope I finish all the creative work stuff that I set out to do. Hopefully I find more better friends. Yeah. I hope I actually get the bravery to ride my motorcycle, I guess, because I don't really do that often. Man, I've been spending so much of my time in my own dorm, and I'm wasting it because there's an entire city out there that I want to explore. I should really spend a weekend just walking out into the city, just drop myself somewhere random and then get acquainted with everything, because I do feel like I'm wasting it, this opportunity, and going to a mall somewhere out there, hopefully with a friend. Man, okay, that's enough. I'm floundering even. Sorry you had to listen to all this. I'll add another, hey, comment if you got this far. Just comment something weird. Thank you and goodbye. Bring me out, Kikuo, Fairy of the Mist.